What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think I've hustled to hit a record button faster in my life. Doing this show for 3 years. Episode 142. If you're scoring at home of the Big Shot Bob podcast, B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. Loosely throwing around the word bitch is NBA champion, 7-time NBA champion Robert Ory. We'll get into that story.
Nah, forget all these pleasures.
I know. Harp looks at the show sheet. Harp looks at the show sheet today, and he's like, no. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, college football, right up front.
Not a no, like, okay. Just a rearrangement of
rearrangement. Things. Okay, thank you for coming in at the 11th hour and reworking the show. But all right, let's do all the things that you want to do. Now, that's okay. Let's get into it, man. We had a weekend here in Atlanta. We had a weekend, and it has been like freaking college football madness.
Welcome to the South.
The last 2 days, 3 days has been just upside down with college football. So, are you back on the bandwagon? I think is the question.
Whoa, wait a minute now.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot this isn't my show. Sorry,
I can recall. I forget what episode it was. I don't know the number. It doesn't matter, but I know it was pretty early on, probably earlier in the year. You told me, I told you, you denounced your fandom of Alabama for whatever reason.
You know what reason.
Oh, yeah, I do know the reason. You did say the reason.
Recruiting my son.
Chris.
Yeah, you did. That's right. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, okay. But if Alabama makes the playoff, as sure as the sun is hot, you will be right back into repping that crimson. What y'all call it? Crimson and white? Yeah, crimson and white. You'll be repping it, and we'll see that Alabama A somewhere. Well, sir.
Where?
I'm not saying in the house. I'm just saying at some point in time we'll see it. All I know is
you got too much Alabama gear is what he's saying.
I know it, right? I got elephants all over the house. I got gear everywhere.
I watched the game this past Saturday, and I saw the selection on Sunday. And I posted it on my story, and I looked at it and I said, well, would you look at here? Alabama in the Final Four, in the playoff for the national title. And I thought to myself, I think I know an Alabama fan or Alabama alum.
But do you?
But at the same time, I don't know if I do because I don't know where he stands. And, sir, I am here on this glorious Tuesday at noon. Well, noon our time, 9 a.m. your time, to sit here and talk to Alabama fan, somebody that's on the fence, somebody that's lukewarm, to ask, where does your fandom lie this afternoon, sir?
Hey, only reason my fandom lies right now because I've had so many people text me, want to make bets, talking about Alabama shouldn't be in, but I'm a college football fan, so I'm still in the boat. I hope they win, but I'm not going to. Think about this: the game is 3 miles away.
It's and the Rose Bowl, sir.
That's what I'm saying. It's 3 miles away,
sir.
And I'm not going unless they call me up and say, "Hey, we need you there." But I'm not going to go out my way and try to get tickets to go. I'm going to sit right here and watch it on TV.
Hold on, your alma mater is playing 3 miles from your house, and you're going to make four. By the way, the best part of the selection, was the Michigan team. After Alabama got the pick instead of FSU.
Oh, there wasn't a clap in there.
Fuck.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hold on, let me tell you something.
That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
I saw that, and I said to myself, because they were hoping it was Florida State.
Of course.
Of course.
Which anybody, you want to find the easiest
FSU
path.
without a quarterback. Yes, thank you.
Here's the thing. If I'm Alabama and I'm looking at that, we already know we had you. We really got you now.
Now we got you.
Because
we got you.
Because if you wanted to play it off, you all should have stood up and clapped because that's what you should want. You should want the big dog. Y'all sat up. It was a few people who clapped, and they don't even play on the team. They were probably a parent of the team sitting in the back just clapping. You could hear a mouse piss on cotton in their whole room.
There you go.
Because it was
That was
oh
funny,
Lord.
man.
What you saying oh Lord for? I thought you were one of the best programs in the country.
Number one.
Hey, I wonder if they were saying, "Oh Lord," because they got in. Or,
No, they
Lord,
knew they were
because
getting in.
Playing them.
They knew they were getting in.
You know what's
Well,
funny?
did they though?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched the selection.
I think there were a lot of people that thought SEC was going to be left out entirely.
No, I thought you meant Michigan.
Alabama. That's what I was talking about.
It'd have been weird if they left. You know, it's as you say, as each person in the country says, the SEC is the best conference in the land, and if they'd have had a championship with no SEC team, everybody been scratching their head. But I would love to sit down and talk to Booger because Booger was hating Alabama like crazy. Yeah. I'm like, dude, why do you hate Alabama so bad? Because he went to LSU, right?
Yes, he did.
He did.
And I'm like, dude, you should root for SEC, but he was hating Bama bad. I'm like, Bama got a 1 loss. That's not right. You didn't say nothing about Texas, who has a 1 loss. I'm like, he was just hating on Bama, and I was like, wow.
Well, here's the thing. Here was Booger's stance. Mm-hmm. He was in a debate. He was like, are we getting the best 4 in, or are we getting the most deserving 4? Because those are not always the most synonymous. Because if we're solely talking about the best 4, which is very subjective in a sense.
Sure.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure most people would say that Alabama and Georgia are 2 of the 4 best teams in the country. Mm-hmm. Even with Georgia losing in the SEC championship game, if we're talking about the best 4,
by a field goal though, they didn't get cooked.
No, they didn't.
They lost by 3.
Right. Most people would agree that Alabama and Georgia are 2 of the 4 best teams in the country, bar none. Because most people look at the SEC championship game as a de facto national title game anyway. The SEC champion has never been left out of a playoff since the playoffs have been in existence.
There's been a lot of things that have never happened. Okay, so the number 1 team, if losing, has never been dropped out of the top 4. Georgia fell all the way to 6. Mm-hmm. An unbeaten Power 5 conference champion has never been left out of the playoff.
Right.
FSU comes in at 5.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there's a number of things that have never happened before this year that happened.
Yeah, I think the committee messed up.
As
soon as that kid got hurt. No.
Okay, go ahead.
When that kid got hurt from Florida State, they kept them up there.
They did.
You should have never kept them up there. You should have dropped them. And then you wouldn't have this problem with everybody saying, oh, there was number 4 and they hadn't lost. They won the conference and they fell out of the top 4. So as soon as that kid got hurt, you should be like, oh, your quarterback hurt. You down to this. As soon as that second one got hurt, you really should have dropped them. And that's why I think the committee messed up, because now everybody's going to be pissed at the committee that you got a team from a Power 5 who hasn't lost a game and 2 teams in there with one loss. So,
yeah.
Look, and I feel for Florida State. I really do.
I do too.
Because you can't predict injuries. And Jordan Travis injury, we always say, it's a quarterback's league. And even college, that's the case. It's not just the league that believes that. Where the drop-off in production from your first-string quarterback to your second-string quarterback, and by the way, the second-string quarterback didn't even play in the ACC championship game because he was hurt. They had to resort to their third-string quarterback.
Dude, they were running the Wildcat half that game.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is the quality of play from said team. Their defense is amazing. They showed that in the ACC championship game. Their defense is on point. But the nation would have looked at it, and I'm pretty sure the committee tried to prevent this from happening. I don't want to put a product on a national stage that is going to be compromised because they don't have their starting quarterback, and we will not get the best quality of play. All the other 3 teams have their quarterback. I don't want the product of the playoff to be compromised because an important position like the quarterback it's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the committee has said previously, I think in the notes of the college football committee, it says if you lose a player of any kind of significance, that may drop you down in the rankings. Yeah. I think you're right. I think leaving them at 4 is what's causing all this problem, because they should have moved them down as soon as Jordan Travis got hurt. Leaving them in at 4 and then having them win out caused a lot of problems.
Yeah. And
It did. And you're right, though. I think the committee even said, I don't need FSU running the Wildcat in here against Michigan. It's not going to, and I don't know how you leave Alabama or Georgia out of the picture for a team without a quarterback.
I'm going to tell you now.
Now, you can make the argument for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is the one on the outside looking in, but Texas beat Alabama.
Yes.
So if you're going to look at quality of wins, Alabama just beat the number one team in the country and the two-time defending national champion. Texas beat them. They have to be in by that logic.
And Georgia, unfortunately, is out because they lost at the wrong time.
Exactly.
Their loss came.
I've never seen a team go from 1 to 6.
Their loss.
That's bad.
Their loss
that's a fall.
just came at the wrong time because, as great as they are, they aren't the SEC champ.
Right.
And unfortunately, because we all know Georgia's one of the 4 best teams in the country. That ain't even a debate. That's not an argument.
Well, it's the Michigan-Ohio State dilemma. Michigan and Ohio State could be 2-3 the whole way through until you get to rivalry week, and then what happens? One of them loses and is out of the playoff.
Yeah.
It happens almost every single year.
So the committee couldn't wait to get past this year. So next year with the 12 team,
Oh God,
they won't have. They'll have some issue.
Next year, you're gonna have a lot of conversation about 2-loss teams that didn't make it, and there'll be some BS about.
Yeah,
that.
but see, when you have two-loss teams, then that's when you start going to quality of wins and quality of schedule.
And by the way, if we're arguing over
Strength of
2-loss
schedule,
teams in the playoff, I'd rather have that than what we're dealing with right now, because 4 teams on paper looked great, but then you hit this idea where I think, honestly, the top 6 are all quality enough teams to be in the playoff. Even with what FSU was dealing with, they still won out. They won the ACC. They were undefeated. So, I mean, I feel like all the top 6 have an argument to be in the college football playoff.
You see what J.J. Watt posted?
Yeah, the 16 playoff.
Yeah, the 16 play. He said we should just do it right now. 16 playoff.
Give the 1 and 2 a bye.
Yeah.
Play 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and let's go.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'll put
Texas play. Yeah, let Texas play Georgia and let Alabama play Florida State. And this.
Oh God! The bloodletting. The bloodletting of Alabama having to take on Florida State without a quarterback. God!
Well, guess what? The Orange Bowl, Georgia and Florida State.
Georgia opened a 14-point favorite.
Guess what?
But here's the thing. None of Georgia players are going to play. I guarantee you, none of them are going to play.
I think you're going to see a lot of those guys. Yeah,
they're going to sit out. If I'm a Georgia player, and I hate to say this, if I'm a senior and I'm getting ready to get drafted,
there ain't nothing.
I'm not playing.
No, there's nothing.
I'm not playing. It's not a national championship.
You're right.
We get shit for this.
Yep.
No, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And the same should go for the Florida State guys because they got a hell of a defense, and a lot of those guys are going to the next level. Why play?
Yeah.
No.
I know it's for the pride of the school and saying you're a champion. And I think Florida State said, you know what, we're going to go out and play Georgia and beat them to show everybody why we should be in the top 4. I think Florida State has a better, more of a motivation factor than Georgia because Georgia like, this is beneath us.
Are you
Florida State's got something to prove.
Are you willing to go ahead and give us your national championship prediction of 2 teams that are going to be moving on? Because I'm willing to give you mine.
Let's go.
I think it's going to be Washington and Alabama.
Okay.
So you think Washington beating Texas?
Texas DBs aren't very good. And that's one thing where when everybody watched the Alabama-Texas game, Melrose is not the player he was then. They wouldn't let him throw the ball. His packages were different. But if you watch Texas over the last couple of games, they DBs have been getting smoked. And then if they receiver, I forget his name, Whitmore or someone.
Yeah.
If he can't play, it's a wrap. And so I know he got a long time. He got a month to get ready or whatever it is.
Yeah, every bit of it.
But I just think the way that Washington slings that thing, Texas DBs are just going to get ate up. And we don't talk about Washington's defense. I watched them. They pretty damn good.
They solid.
Yeah,
they held up against Oregon. I mean,
Well, they got Oregon's number, and Michael Penix Jr., the Heisman Trophy hopeful. He'll be in New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation. So I think that's going to be a really good game. At the moment, I have a rematch of a matchup earlier this season, Texas and Alabama.
That was my pick too.
I have a rematch.
I think, and give me honest predictions. Alabama, Michigan. Do we think this is a close game? Do you think this is competitive?
14 points.
Or does Michigan just?
It's going to be a close game because Alabama always has problems with running quarterbacks. And people don't talk about Michigan's quarterback. He runs like a 4.4, I think, 40.
Really?
He doesn't run much. Yeah. He doesn't run much, but when he has the opportunity, he will scamper and get yards. He's not like Jaden from LSU, but he has some wheels and he can run the rock.
So how does Michigan's defense go up against Milroe?
That's the thing. I don't think they can handle Milroe because Milroe and it's not even Milroe. It's Alabama's offensive line. They have improved each and every week. And you see how much time Milroe has? He's back there eating a sandwich, going over stats, and then he throws the ball, man. It's that offensive line family. Think about it. Their average weight is 315. If you don't have someone that can just beat them around, you ain't getting past them.
I think, and I could be wrong, and this is not to downplay Michigan, and I always poo-poo on Michigan because of how they wet the bed on the national stage. Well, they wet the bed on national stages in previous years, and I don't like that. And so, I know they have two really good running backs. Their run game is really the strong suit of their offense, and their defense has really played well. I just think from a psychological level, now I'm sitting there sounding like Skip Bayless, the psyche. But I think that plays a part because this is the matchup that I don't think Michigan was looking for. They were not looking for this matchup first.
Oh, no.
And I think Alabama want to smoke with anybody. And I think they said, okay, Michigan, you on the plate first, we're going to carve you up. And we're going to send you on home where you need to be.
I think the worst thing for everybody is the confidence Alabama gained after the Iron Bowl. After they know they can be down.
Because this could have been this could have been a wash. Ever. If Auburn had any sense of defensive idea of what the hell they were doing on 4th and 31, this isn't even a conversation.
Nation, I want the nation to listen to me. If you want to be upset, Florida State, if you want to be upset with anybody, do not be upset with Georgia. Do not be upset with Alabama. Don't even be upset with the committee. You need to be upset with Auburn. Because if Auburn would have handled their business, Alabama would have gone to the SEC championship game as a 2-loss team and would have never had a shot, even if they won that game, of getting in the playoffs with 2 losses.
But here's the thing is, if they're still, though, they would have had Georgia. That committee would have just dropped Georgia.
They wouldn't have dropped Georgia out, I don't think.
No, Georgia would have been in because that would have been their only loss.
Right. They
would not have dropped Georgia out because you would have had Washington, Michigan, Texas.
Because Texas probably still would have made it. Georgia, I think Texas might have come in at 4 even. You may have seen Georgia go 1-3.
My thing is, then I think they would use the resumes of Georgia versus Texas, and my thing is Georgia's resume is a lot stronger.
Oh God, yes, way stronger.
Yeah. Also, but I think if Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, they lose to Georgia.
I can't say that.
I say that because it's amazing what confidence and arrogance and feeling like you can overcome
momentum,
anything.
baby.
I got that.
Yeah. It carries over. So that's. If you watch the way Alabama's defense freaking played Georgia, I was like, who the hell is this? I'm like, this must be the '92 Alabama team that beat Miami or something. They defense was nice.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's what Michigan
even Kool-Aid was making some plays back there.
I don't think Michigan has faced the defense necessarily as stout as what we see out of teams like Alabama and Georgia in the SEC, because you have to play big, physical, fast defense. And I know that's kind of the rule across college football. And you took on Ohio State. But I don't think if you put apples to apples, Ohio State's defense versus Alabama's, never going to.
And Alabama's defense, not even in comparison to past years, they're not even one of the better. But they've gotten better.
Yeah.
They've gotten better, and that's the thing.
And they're young.
Yeah.
All right, who do you think
wins
it?
The whole Alabama team, young.
Who do you think wins it?
Roll Tide, roll.
Alabama? Rob, you think Alabama's going to do it?
I think Alabama wins it.
And here's the thing. If they give out, I don't know if college gives out a Coach of the Year award, it should go to Nick Saban, which is crazy.
Which is nuts because everybody wrote Alabama off after they lost to Texas.
This is one of this might be his greatest coaching job at Alabama thus far.
I'm
they're gonna give it. I thought they was gonna give it to the Oregon guy, but he just lost again to Washington. So they might give it to the Washington kid, the coach.
Yeah.
Because he's coaching that team up,
They might.
Yeah. Well, we know who won't get it. Michigan. Harbaugh would definitely not get it.
Coach of the year and suspended. All right. Well, listen, I have a lot of college football to go through, so want to do that off the top of the show. We do have a lot of NBA stuff.
A lot.
I did want to talk about because B-Dog retweeted it.
The audio.
Well, I tried to pull the audio. The audio is, you can't really hear
Right.
what the hell's going on between Udoka and LeBron. But it's basically, I'll give you the loose transcript here. Ime shouting from the sideline, "Stop crying like bitches, man." To which LeBron said, "We're all grown men. That bitch word ain't cool." And then he accused him several times of using it too loosely. You're throwing that word around loosely. And then Ime comes back with, "Soft-ass boy, stop bitching, acting like you're going to do something." At which point, I think LeBron got the technical, and Udoka got bounced from that game. What did you think of the confrontation? Did LeBron maybe take some trash talk a little too personal? Did Ime push it too far?
Well, I think the ref was really trying to, keep heads cool over there, but he didn't have to toss Ime because there's so many words that go on between players and players, coaches and players, benches and players. So I think there's nothing should have been done to Ime. I think you just, because Ime didn't look like he was going to do anything. LeBron just like, they're just having a conversation. So I think the ref took it too far. Players say everything, man. I've been called, players say so many crazy things to each other. It's ridiculous. But I don't understand how, Ime got tossed for just, running his mouth.
I could tell you that I understand that from the perspective of he's the head coach of a team. It's not a player and another player going at each other. It's a player and a head coach. Even though they're peers, they played against each other in the league.
Ain't LeBron older than him?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's not. I think Ime's a few years older. But when you're a head coach, I think that carries a little bit of a different weight.
True.
When you run your mouth from the sideline. If you want to yell some stuff, yell some stuff. But if you're going to threaten a guy, I think it's different than when a player threatens a guy. Like, what are you going to do something? Come at me. That's heat of the moment. That's two guys on the court playing against each other. Ime's on the side. He got a clipboard in his hand. He got a coffee. And now he's threatening LeBron from the sideline. I think that's why he got bounced.
It's crazy to realize that Ime played against LeBron, too.
He did.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He did for years. And that was what came up. There was video this week online I saw of people posting LeBron just cooking him.
It's like, boy, you're
like,
probably mad.
Still mad. Yeah.
Like LeBron is in a very unique position that a lot of players in NBA history are not, where it's like, bro, a lot of y'all who are coaches, I cooked y'all just like I'm cooking these boys.
Yeah.
So go ahead and stay over there on the sideline and relax while I do what I do.
Jason Kidd, Ime Udoka, go ahead. Keep your mouth shut.
Chauncey Billups.
Hey, you see how I gave these boys a triple dub? That's how I used to do you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got a point. He's got a point. My only thought on LeBron's thing was, how has LeBron had to have heard everything under the sun? How have you've been called everything, man? Yeah. Like, let that go. Who cares? Just laugh at him. Laugh it off. Be like, I'm still out here, by the way.
I think it gets to a point where you see people and it's like, are you talking? Yeah. And then you feel like you got to respond. It's just like, it's almost like when you see stuff on Instagram or Twitter and someone says something off the wall, you're like, no, I shouldn't respond. Oh, fuck that. Let me respond.
Oh, yeah. And I get it. Every now and then it gets the better of you. You're just like, no, stop running your mouth. You don't get to say that. But I'm like, man, just laugh it off, bro.
Yeah.
You've been called a million words.
I thought they were just, when I saw it, I saw it on TV with no sound. I thought they were just having a conversation about a play or something. And then all of a sudden I saw the ref go doop doop.
Yeah. And LeBron didn't want that man ejected. Like LeBron, they could have had that conversation back and forth and then gone back to play.
No, he don't care.
That's the ref that did that.
But how about the kid and wanting to go at? It's almost like the Detroit situation with LeBron when the guy was trying to go at Cam. I was like, dang, I missed this game. I was at my son's basketball game and I missed some good drama.
Yeah, you did. Sure did.
And you know what Ime said in the presser, right?
No,
yeah. He was like, it's a shame that we're getting pushed around by a team that's not known for their physicality and that's not known to be physical. It's basically embarrassing that we're getting pushed around by a team like that. I'm like, well, I mean, you did. Your squad is young. Like, you got a young squad.
And by the way, maybe overperforming too. So.
Well, no, that's just my people. Everybody say, "Well, you're a former Rocket." Yes, I'm a former Rocket, but I'm a realist. And people look at that 6-game run they had early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't count because you played Sacramento twice without no Fox. You got those 2 wins. And then you played the Lakers with no AD, and you got that win. And then you played a Denver who was just off the Murray loss, and you got that win. So you've got to look. That was like 5 or 6 wins right there in a row. Oh, we'll be back. I'm like, no. You're not back. You're good, but you're not back because you just played some teams without their star players. You had the right time at the right moment. It was a Jeremy Lin moment for them. They was in the right place at the right time. And I think they also in that win they had, I think it was Wizards or someone, but that 6-game or whatever game winning streak, everybody was talking about the Rockets. No, it doesn't count unless you're going up against quality teams that are at full strength. And so that's why I was like, they're good, but they're not good enough to worry about time they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay. Don't you crap on Lynn's sanity, by the way. I don't want to hear it. I will not have it.
That was a moment in time, man. That was
right moment, right time, man.
Hey,
this is coming from me. I experienced that a lot. Right moment, right time.
That's one of those moments in NBA history is like, where were you when it happened?
Oh, Lynn's sanity? I remember it. Yeah, I remember it vividly. Let me give you the LeBron stat of the day. LeBron currently has more career points, assists, steals, and blocks than the entire Detroit Pistons roster combined. I love that.
When I saw that,
I love it. It's just something about that is just comical to me. I don't know why. It just makes me.
Hey, that means that Detroit is not that good or they that young. I don't know which one it is.
One of the two.
It could be a combination of all of it.
Yeah. Spin the wheel. Mm-hmm. A few more things I wanted to get to. I did want to mention Marc Cuban selling off his stake in the Mavericks. I only want to mention it for one reason. He purchased the Mavericks in the year 2000 for $285 million. And sold controlling stake in the club for $3.5 billion this past week.
That's crazy.
Oh, he made a little bit of money. He made a little bit of scratch on that.
But no, it's always weird when you see these type of things. You're like, man, like $285 million. You're like, hey, he that's not that much.
No, it really isn't.
On a scale of a team.
Well, the Mavericks were terrible. They were not. They weren't good when he bought.
And he's like this dude. Everything he touches turns to gold. I'm like, now he's going to get $3.5 billion. That's amazing. And I always think about the flip side of that, where you take Tillman Fertitta, who could have bought the Rockets when he wanted to. Like they sold it to Les for 65 instead of him paying 68, whatever it was, something like that. Yeah. And then he turned around and purchased it later on for fucking $2.5 billion or whatever it was. I'm like,
here's the thing.
I'm like, wow.
They said he's still going to have control.
Yes, control of basketball operations.
So he's
quote forevermore.
Okay.
Apparently, he's Edgar Allan Poe.
So he sold off a majority. Stake, but he still has control of basketball operations.
I guess this is per the deal that he signed with the family that they sold it to.
So that means he's getting a check from Dallas.
Yeah, the Adelson family, by the way, who's buying the controlling stake of the team, have also been lobbying very heavily over the last many years to get gambling legalized in the state of Texas. So everybody kind of leans in and says, well, maybe this is like,
Well, money talk.
Maybe
no, that means Cuban knows something, and he about to put a casino in Texas.
Yeah.
So he better hurry up, be Tillman, because Tillman already has the footprint.
Well, the rumor also is that he wants to build a new arena. That he wants a new arena in Dallas.
That arena
arena's got to be in pretty good shape. And he's done a good job keeping it up, too.
Yeah, that arena's only like what? Let's see. Well, I've been out the league for a minute, so it's had to be that old, about 25 years old.
From the rumor is that he wants to buy now. I could be wrong, but I also heard that I wouldn't put that past him. Like, I wouldn't.
The American Airlines Center opened in July of 2001. So it's 22 years old. That's not that old.
Yeah.
If we're still playing basketball in the Garden, this is fine.
Yeah, but the Garden, the Garden's different.
Because there's no real estate there, so you'd have to rip the building down to rebuild it.
And it's a nostalgia type of thing for the city of New York.
The same reason why the Red Sox still play at Fenway Park.
And the Cubs still play at
Wrigley.
Right.
The Yankees were like, F this, burn it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Build a new one next door. Are the Warriors in trouble? I know we're only about a quarter of the way through the season. They're not out of 500 yet. There was a whole bunch of stuff online this week. Kevin Garnett saying he didn't think they were even a play-in team. I've seen NBA executives trying to throw out Klay's name in trade scenarios. They don't think it'll ever happen, but they're all figuring if the Warriors are struggling enough, well, okay, maybe we can crowbar Klay Thompson out of Golden State. I think they're 8-10.
Yeah, what's the GM that left?
Oh, Bob Myers.
Yes.
Bob saw this coming, man. That's why he left. He's like, this ship is sinking.
Maybe.
But it's that team has got a mixture of young and old. And I think the guys they drafted are very talented, but it doesn't mesh with what's going on what they have. It's like the Warriors have a certain type of finesse, the way they play with. And those other guys don't really know how to do it. And I think, I love Klay. Klay is one of my favorite players of all time. He can't play each and every night. His body's just too beat up. And then Draymond is, even though he hit a bunch of threes the other night, it's just, I think people look at Draymond, everybody's trying to, poke at Draymond to get him to do a tech, to throw him out. And it's just mayhem over there right now. I think Steph needs to, have a team meeting. I don't know if these teams ever have team meetings, but Steph needs to bring these guys together. They need to figure it out. But I don't think I think they are a play-in team right now, as you see the way they construct it.
Yeah. Bob Myers saw this, but I think it doesn't take you being a GM to see it that guys getting older.
Yeah.
Like, every run has to come to an end. You get to the apex just to come down. And that's with anything. And the Warriors are on the downslide. Now, where they are on that downslide, because I feel as though we've said this before, and then later in the season they picked up and they went on this incredible run where, Steph goes crazy and then Klay reemerges and the chemistry and everything that we are so accustomed to witnessing, we see another glimpse of that. And then we go from talking about trading pieces off to, can the Warriors really compete for another title? Even the year that they won the title, recently, we were talking about, they were older.
They older.
They old, and then they went on a run. And so I
think they were struggling early that season too, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm saying. Basketball is a game of, I'm not saying they'll do that this year because they're a little older than what they were even then. But basketball, as far as on the floor and in the season, is a game of runs. You're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have winning streaks. They're going to have a winning streak. They are. It's just too long of a season.
Yeah. Plus, if you look at, they need to unload some of this money, man. And
if you have a down year, maybe it gives you an excuse to go, we had to move some contracts and get some things reshuffled. All right, well, interesting conversation. Yeah. Can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Can you give Tyrese Haliburton a pep talk?
What happened?
Well, he had a night last night too. In the in-season tournament, so they're on. Indiana moves on, knocking out Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Haliburton this week, though. This was before the in-season game last night. Quote: "I just want to get to the playoffs. Not gonna lie. All the individual stuff is cool, and I've accomplished a lot individually already. Been an all-star, which is the main goal of mine when I came into the NBA. Obviously, there's more for me to achieve individually, but individual success is nothing at this point. I just want to win. I'm tired of being a loser." That's Tyrese Haliburton.
Hey, when I hear that statement, the first thing I laugh at is like, when I came in the NBA, first thing I say is, I want to be a champion. He says he wanted to be an all-star. And so now you putting your personal goals ahead of the team goals. And that's where you got to, put that thing in reverse, Terry, and say, hey, we need to win a championship, not make the playoffs. And I laugh at all these teams and guys that, we want to make the playoffs. When I was on the Rockets, Lakers, and Spurs, it's like, we're not going to make the playoffs. We want to win a championship. And your mentality has to be that. And, when all these kids and, you see them celebrating because they made the playoffs, no, act like you've been there, done that, and that's where you're supposed to be. So you have to change your mindset and saying, okay, I want to do all these individual goals. You got to think about it. If you are successful in the star of your team and you get to the playoffs, you win a championship, that means those goals are going to come. And so I think for me, I'm like, dude, change your mindset. Say, I don't want to get to the playoffs. I want to win a championship. That way you're going down the right path.
Yeah, I think that too, but I also think with this team, they're taking steps. I think everybody's goal is to win a title, but Indiana sniffing the playoffs. I mean, that is their goal at the moment because they ain't been there in a while. Mm-hmm. I don't think they haven't been since Paul George left, have they?
Nope.
No,
So I mean,
think so, no.
It's a little foreign right now for them to know what the playoffs are like, and so now you're giving your fan base hope that, hey, let's get into this thing and see what we can do. Yeah, everybody's goal should be championship, but there are also certain teams who have to take baby steps, and they still have to build, and they still have to grow. Could they get in there and shake some stuff up? Sure. Anything can happen. Yeah.
Pacers, by the way, went in 2018-2019 season, got swept by the Celtics. Yeah. Went back in 2019-2020, got swept by the Heat.
So, I mean, it's recent.
So, a lot of sweeping.
First rounds.
But they getting the broom getting brought out on them. So, I mean, it's like you're there, but you ain't there. It's quick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, Cancun.
They were in they were in the conference finals as previously as 2013-2014.
But see, that was Paul George.
And that was also the LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh years in Miami. So both years they went, both years they were gone.
Paul George, David West, Roy Hibbert were the three. And I think Lance Stevenson was on that team. His foolish self.
Yeah, he was.
So,
it's foolish self.
But that team was tough. They were they gave Miami problems because they were a defensive team. They could never get over the hump, but they fought.
Okay, interesting. Well, I mean, I feel like Tyrese has been a good player this year.
Oh, he's been more than good.
He's had a really good season.
He's been really good.
Real good season.
He's
but like,
yeah.
I hate hearing guys talk about themselves and put the word loser on their name. Like, I'm tired of being a loser. I'm like, bro, you got the world at your fingertips, man. And I get it. I get it. In the NBA, it's tough sliding and everything you guys just explained about where the Pacers are and where they're going. But, like, dude, man, come on. Like, get that mentality off of you. Like, I don't want to go into a game with that kind of mentality.
I don't either. But I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, you want to win.
Yeah.
But instead of saying I'm tired of being a loser, say I'm ready to win.
Yeah.
It's sort of a mentality, you know what I mean?
That's true.
And that's just, I don't know.
That's probably what's fueling
back. Isn't Ja back?
It's 25. We ain't been 25 games.
No, we're only
yet.
like 20 games in.
Yeah.
But it's soon. Yeah.
Soon.
25 games.
It's been quiet.
Within the next probably, week and a half?
Yeah, it's been quiet, which is a good thing.
I haven't heard a peep about Ja Morant.
Well, that's because, and it's crazy because the Grizzlies are atrocious.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
They are bad.
They are not good. They won, 3 games, 4 games or something like that? It's really ugly. Whatever
Memphis
it is.
actually
it's
won
ugly.
5 games.
And here's the thing.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
It's not only because of that, but them missing Steven Adams for their season is really
that's a big problem.
That's a big problem.
That's a big problem for them. All right, couple quick notes, NBA notes. We're going to do Big Shot of the Week, and then we're going to play a game where you guys can bet on yourselves and against each other. It'll be fun. Quick NBA, did you see the James Harden thing? Where apparently Daryl Morey promised him a max deal. That was part of the reason he was pissed at Daryl Morey. And I'm
I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, James, he had an interview this week with The Athletic. They were talking about kind of how he's settling in L.A. and all this stuff. And James, of course, Daryl Morey's name comes up. And he says, speaking of the money, was there a conversation about you getting a max deal to stay? And James says, yes, Daryl Morey promised me a max contract. And they said, Daryl said those words to you. And James is like, yeah. And I'm like,
okay.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to blame it on the money now?
Hey, the Rockets said they were never going to trade me. In the next 48 hours, I was gone.
I mean, come on, man. Just own it. Just be like, Daryl and I don't get along. We had crossed visions of where I was going to be on this team and what my role was going to be. It didn't work out, and I'm moving on. Don't make freaking excuses. Don't do that.
And it's old. Look, I get it. It's something that's recently happened, and people want to kind of dig into the situation to see if they can get new info that is not out there yet. But leave it alone.
Yeah, I know.
Leave it alone.
I'm sick of the story, but it was just a weird.
It's just look. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Odd caveat.
There are certain. I'm sick of James Harden. And
completely.
I'm sick of him completely.
Dude, I'm with you 100%.
I'm sick of talking about. I'm sick of hearing about him. I'm about sick or tired of watching him play. Yeah. Like, honestly.
No, you're right.
Real talk. Mm-hmm. I'm just, it's certain players that every time their name being brought up, I'm like, Come
It grates on you
on.
after a while. Yeah.
What do you think about James Harden? Don't care. Don't care. Because I'm tired of hearing him. Because he ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's a great player that's going to go down as a great
Go
player.
put a team on your back and win a title.
It won't happen.
I know, but I'm saying, go put a team on your back and win a title. That's what's going to take, change the narrative about him.
You know what the closest opportunity he got? What was that? 09 when they were young bucks.
That was the OKC years,
when they
right?
came off the bench and they were young and they got
When
beat
it's
by
KD and him and Russ.
and they got beat by the Heat.
Yep.
That's the closest he's gonna ever get. The beginning of his career.
Whew. Man. All right. Let's do big shot of the week real quick, and then we're gonna play our game. Big shot of the week this week is gonna go to Michigan Wolverines running back Blake Corum. Not only did Corum run for over 1,000 yards this season, scored 24 touchdowns, he had a little bit of a bigger number in mind. That number was 600. That was the number of turkeys he gave out around Michigan during Thanksgiving. He fed 600 families by himself.
Wow.
And his efforts in the community were the reason why he was named the captain of the 2023 All-State AFCA Good Works team. He is a volunteer in the community. He is also planning a toy drive December 9th. And this is a college kid. And this was the reason I gave a big shout of the week. Here's the quote. I've been able to use my blessings from NIL to bless others. So just being given the opportunity and the platform to try and change not only one, but multiple people's lives has been very, very good, and I will keep it going.
Hey, man.
Dude, he used his NIL money
Absolutely.
to give back to families, to do a toy drive, to feed 600 people on Thanksgiving. Dude.
Man.
Big shot of the week
I
because
salute him.
more of those kids are going to take that NIL money and go buy a car or go buy some flashy shit. Or in the case of my parents need something, I'm going to spend the money on my parents. Completely understand. This kid turned that around to his community.
And that's not to say that he hasn't. And that's
Right.
not to say that he hasn't bought himself something.
But that's the first time I've heard a college kid say, I'm going to use my NIL money to help other people.
And I mean, I don't think there are any words that I could use to kind of describe how amazing I think this is. I mean, you're using the money that you worked for and that you've gotten off your name, image, and likeness, and you're using it and giving it to other people. And that's, you could only hope that you could have multiple athletes like him. Yeah. Because for every athlete that you have that is gonna, splurge and go do whatever, you're gonna have guys like this who choose to do great things and positive things with their money. So all I can do is salute him, really salute him.
Yeah, he's inspiring to hopefully to a lot of these guys with the NIL deals and not just running around campus and all these nice cars and you gotta also think this is going to be really good for him in the long run because now people are going to see this. It's going to actually get him more NIL money because they're going to say, "Hey, I'm going to back you to help more people," and this is just fantastic that he's doing this for his community.
Honestly, big shot to his parents because
Yes.
you raised a good kid. You know what I mean? Like you can hope that money doesn't change you,
Right.
but you never know who you're going to be until you get it. And they raised a good kid. Man.
Well, they always say money doesn't change you, it just makes you more who you already are.
Yeah.
So if you're an idiot without it, you're going to be an idiot with it.
Big
It's not,
time
you're just an idiot with money.
Yeah.
So, but if you're generous with what you have, the more that somebody gives you, the more generous you become.
Yeah. Anyway, big shot of the week to that young man, Blake Corum. I thought that was cool. Just really, really cool. I wish more people were like Rob and Shaq, who always, and I've learned from both of you guys, you just take care of your people, man. If you carve out your little corner, this is my community. I try to look out for my community. If more people did that, you'd have a lot more people looking out for their communities and stuff.
Yeah.
And, so young men like that kind of set in the way. All right, this is a new game. This is called Betting on Yourself. I think this is fun because I was goofing around with odds this weekend. There's some stuff coming up in the shoot around on Friday's show about odds, and I was like, there's got to be something here with the betting lines. So this is the game I came up with. I'm going to give you a category. Robert Ory, for instance. Category number 1 is going to be 90s NBA. Okay? Between 1 and 5 points, you can wager how many you want to bet on a question. Okay? On whether or not you think you can get the 90s NBA question right. You will win or lose that number of points. Okay, if you get it right, if you bet 5 points, you get 5 points. If you get it wrong, you're negative 5 in the hole.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? B-Dog. On that question, you can bet between 1 and 5 points whether you think Rob's going to get it right or wrong. Okay?
Okay.
So you don't have to give me your wager. If you want to scrap it down on a piece of paper or something, just write down a number. Okay? You each get to wager on this question. We're not going to find out what your wagers are. So grab a pen until I give you the question and you answer it right or wrong.
You got one over there?
Yeah, I got a pen for you. Hang on a second. I got a pen. Oh, this game requires pens? Jesus Christ. What are we doing? All right. There you go, man.
Cool.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, so just jot down your wager. So the first question is 90s NBA. How many points do you want to wager, Rob, on answering a 90s NBA question? Just write it down on a little piece of paper there for you. And
Just
Harp,
did it.
Anywhere from 1 to 5. And Harp, how many points do you want to wager to write it down on whether you think Rob's going to get it right or wrong? So this is a game of strategy. Not only do you have to bet on your question, your opponent's got to bet whether you're going to know it or not. So if you're super confident, that's one thing.
This is a 90s NBA question?
90s
Yeah.
NBA is the topic.
Okay.
All right,
Got it.
Everybody got a wager?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Robert Horry. Larry Johnson had a blast in the 90s with his alter ego Grandmama, even helping Steve Urkel win a basketball game on what 90s TV sitcom?
Family Matters.
Oh, very nice. What did you wager? Let me see it. 5 points. So that's 5 for Rob. Harp. What was your wager?
1.
1 point. Was your point wagered against Rob getting it right or getting it wrong?
It was wagered against him getting it wrong.
Okay, so you're Harp
I'm just
is
gonna be
already
honest.
Harp's a point in the hole. All right, Harp's a point in the hole.
Because it was 90s and I didn't want to go full in. I'm like, he played during that time.
All right. So Rob's up. B-Dog, here's your question. Or your category is 90s TV stars. So we're sticking in the 90s. 90s TV stars. You can wager 1 to 5 points. And Rob, you have to bet
What was the question again?
90s TV stars is the category.
Oh, heck, I got it right here.
Okay. 90s TV stars. So you got it, Rob, you got to guess right or wrong and how many points you're going to wager. Okay, I saw it. Okay.
All right.
All right. We got our bets in?
Yeah.
All right. Brandon Harper. We recently lost the 90s TV star Matthew Perry. What was the name of his character on the iconic show Friends? Extremely popular. Worldwide popular.
I know, but
I don't need his full name. I'll take his first name.
Can I steal?
Oh, it's not Kramer, is it?
Oh,
Not Kramer.
No, it's not. It's not Kramer. No, it's not Kramer.
Kramer's on Jerry Steinfeld.
Oh, that's what it is.
Seinfeld, whatever his name.
That's what I used to watch. I ain't watched Friends.
All right. So
I've
that's
never watched the episode of Friends, but I know his name.
Okay, so this is coming up negative for Harp Dog. So unfortunately, no. None of my sound is working. What the hell's going on? All right, well, Harp got it wrong. How many points did you wager?
I said 1, he'd get it wrong.
You said 1, he'd get it wrong, so you're going to get a point then.
He's got 6
You're
points.
getting what? How many?
He's got 6 points.
He's got 6 now.
Chandler Bing.
Chandler.
That's
Oh.
absolutely right. Harp, how many did you wager, Harp?
1.
So you minus 2
So
right
Harp's 6 in the hole. we're through 2 questions. All right, Rob, your category here. You get to place a wager. Category is bowling.
now. Oh, shit.
Bowling. So you're winning by a fairly significant amount at the moment. How many points do you want to wager on bowling? Write it down. Harp, you're wagering whether Rob's going to get this right or wrong.
Dang, because it could be one of them questions where I'm like, dang. All right, I'm going to do this.
All right.
Since I'm already.
Oh, I have a feeling he's been big.
All right.
All right, ready? Rob, what do you call it when a bowler gets 3 strikes in a row?
Turkey?
That's correct.
I knew it was going to be one of them easy questions.
You're absolutely right. How many points did you wager?
I
Just
only
one.
bet 1 on myself.
Okay. All right. Harp Dog?
I bet 5 against him.
You bet 5 against him. Mark, can we just call this game?
Yeah, it's
man,
over. This game been over.
You're 13 points in the hole.
I can't dig myself out.
3 questions in.
You just gotta go 5 in.
Rob just needs to wager ones all the way to the end of the game. He wins. All right, well let's do the next question. Category for Harper is billionaires. Billionaires. How many points do you want to wager?
See, this is
Harp's got to bet 5 all the way out.
This is one of those. This is one of those questions where it's like, how many billionaires are on Earth?
No, that's not true. These are answerable questions. I'm not going to give you something completely insane that you can't get.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go big.
Okay, and Rob's wagering. All right, we good?
Yeah.
Brandon Harper, with a ton of online controversy, who did Forbes name, quote, the youngest self-made billionaire ever in 2019? This was a humongous story.
The youngest self-made
billionaire. And there was a ton of controversy about the whole idea of self-made.
Oh,
you know it.
Kim Kardashian. No, it's not.
How many answers does he get?
Is it? It ain't.
No, it's Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner.
Oh, her
Kylie
sister.
Jenner is her sister. Yeah, I knew you knew it. It was in yeah. All right, 3 that he gets it wrong.
3 he gets it wrong.
So Rob gets 3 more. You bet 5.
Matter of fact, is Kim Kardashian even a billionaire?
Yes.
Yeah, she's got it.
Okay, so
especially now that she did that damn.
But I knew she was one before Skims.
Yeah, Skims had to have got her over the.
I knew. You know what? When I saw your face when I said Kim, I'm like, it's got to be somebody that's related to her.
All right, well, do you want to do one more for the hell of it? Because it seems like this game's pretty much over.
We playing the game.
I wrote 5 rounds. We're through 2, and Harp is like negative 600 points.
Yeah, I bet it 5.
You were betting big, but all right, Rob, we'll do one more round. Rob, the category here, Secret Agent Man. Secret Agent Man.
Secret Agent Man. This is 5th question. Go here. All right.
Harp, you betting you're betting for him or against him. All right. Robert Horry, who's the most recent actor to play James Bond?
Oh, crap. I don't know his freaking name.
All of a sudden, you're B-Dog with the Friends question.
He's Knives Out. I just can't think of his freaking name.
He is. You're right. You're absolutely
right. I just can't think of his name.
Okay.
I'm just saying this for fun. Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah.
For what it's worth, I bet a whole 5 against it. He would get.
Okay, well you look, you're digging yourself out of the hole a little bit. All right.
No.
And then I knew it'd be something. I just thought it was going to be like a James Bond question. I thought
it was a James Bond question. Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's his name.
And I bet 4.
You bet 4. So all right, Rob is slowly dropping down here now.
No, he's not.
Slowly. I bet 4. That's a heck of a wager. All right, B-Dog, your category here, classic films.
Oh, shit.
Classic film.
6. Okay. This is question 6, right?
This is question number 6, yes. Classic
question number 6. I'm letting you know, B-Dog, I bet 5 you'll get this shit right.
I know you did.
You shouldn't have told him that because now he can get it wrong. Bet 1 and get back in this game. All right, B-Dog, classic films.
Mm-hmm.
What movie has the iconic line, "You're gonna need a bigger boat"?
Fuck! He too young to know that. He's never seen this movie.
But I've heard that line before.
Everybody's heard that line.
Yeah.
It's become like pop culture commonplace. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Can I steal it?
No, the whole point is we're betting against each other. You can't.
And I know this. I don't know why it slipped in my mind. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I promise you, Ori has seen this movie 200 times, probably in your lifetime, right?
So you don't think it's a movie that I've seen?
No.
Probably, maybe.
I saw this movie as a kid, so I know.
Yeah, I did too. My stepfather loved this movie.
I don't know.
Rob.
Jaws.
His Jaws. The original Jaws. Mm-hmm. This is when he was out chumming, and the shark came up and came back down, and he just, Roy Schneider shit his pants and was like, he looked back at Kevin and goes, "You're going to need a bigger boat."
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's where it is. Okay, yeah.
Jaws, the original Jaws.
Jaws. Hey, but how crazy is this that we've had all these shark attacks, in the last out in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's been a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a woman and her daughter or something recently, like the last
she
week
saved
or
her
so.
daughter. Yeah, that was in Mexico.
That was Mexico. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them. Holy
And just
cow.
had one yesterday in the Bahamas.
Man.
How crazy is that, though? You taking your kid over to one of those little fun things, the jumpies in the water, and a freaking shark attacks that close to land.
Yeah, that's
just
crazy.
wild food.
Hey.
You know, everybody laughs at me when I would go out in that
Why
water.
is for what it's worth, why is Wendy's calling me?
Wendy's?
It says Wendy's.
What?
That's your honey butter chicken biscuit.
No.
You can pick it up.
But why is Wendy's calling me?
Why not?
I didn't answer it.
I got a call too, like minutes ago.
From Wendy's?
No,
Oh.
from a random number. But
Oh.
I'm like waiting to see if it's a Wendy's. I'm like, oh,
It literally says Wendy. It said Wendy's on the top.
It says Wendy's. Wendy's, man, you know your fat ass when Wendy's is calling.
I ain't been to I ain't been to a Wendy's in
Oh, man, I love Wendy's.
Dude, I do too.
love
I
a
do
Dave's
too.
double. Oh, my goodness.
No. You use the fries as the thing for the Frosty. So you dip the fry in the Frosty.
That's actually pretty
Frosty out. The
good.
fry is
See,
good.
I can't do that. Everybody likes. I tried. I didn't like
Dude,
it.
it's so good, man. It's instant, like 5 pounds, just like that. You just put it right on, right to your ass. 5 pounds, man.
Oh my goodness.